little film here.
My Warcraft experiences
Yeah.
began with the extreme generosity of my son Zachariah,
That's me.
who allowed me to play his game.
His account.
Endless hours, actually.
Truly endless.
It was sacrificial, and I was very impressed. Of course, once the hook was really set,
Well, that's what you do. That's what I do with cocaine, too.
I realized
I do with
that
heroin, guys.
he did this for his own good.
I'm like, Mom, I have a read! That's okay, I do too.
Yep.
Rewarding. So I'm all like, fuck, my internet's out. And then I remember my mom told me the other day, she's all like, oh, I don't know when's the internet's gonna go off because I didn't pay the bill. Yeah, she didn't file her taxes. Her taxes were due April 15th. As I said before, it is August 9th of that year. So that would be, I mean, she's not ahead, okay, she's behind. And that's a fucking problem. Because if she had, I wouldn't be making this video because I'd be playing WoW.
You know, I'm kind of disappointed, you know, because my mom, you know, it's a lot of you guys know, you know, my mom plays with me, and we've been playing World of Warcraft together since 2006, early 2006. And so, like, for some reason they locked her account yesterday whenever I was trying to install Mists on it, and you know, we're really hoping that she's going to be able to log on for the launch. So my mom, if you guys don't know, has been playing WoW ever since basically I got her into the game. And my reason that I got her into the game is because she used to get mad, come in, tell me to pause the game. I'd be like, Mom, you can't pause World of Warcraft, it's online. She'd never fucking understand. So I figured that I could make an investment and I could let her use my account a little bit. And that was not against the TOS, by the way. Good fucking try, you fat nerds. And I would let her use my account, make a character, and get her into the game. That way, by the time I got to 60, and she told me, instead of telling me it's time to go to bed, and I was in the middle of the raid, she's asked me if they had another spot. It worked. So she's been playing ever since then. And basically, one of the things that she used to like to do was farm stuff out, right? And one of the things she used to like to farm were these little whelplings. And I got her, I don't know if I got her another one or not, I thought about it, but I did get her one, and I got this for her because of all the time that she farmed out one, and she gave one to me, so I figured I'd get this for her, and there you guys go. There's little Crimson Whelpling right there, really, really soft, really, really high quality, great stuffed animal, or whatever you want to call it. I think, honestly, this thing looks really, really cool, and I think that she's going to like it a lot. And, you know, she gave me one of these in game, so now I can give her one in real life. So I'll go ahead and put that right there. And I'll put the bag, I'll just put it down there, okay? Alright, next one here. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, what's this? Oh, yeah, that's right. I got her a number. This is like $3 each, so I just got a few of them. And the other one is a Murloc, alright, and she likes those a lot, obviously, everybody does. And we got a little Murloc plushie, okay? Look at him. This actually, he's got some real... Oh, what's this? What's this? Is that grease on him? Look, his teeth are almost as big as mine. Look at this shit, dude. This looks real nice. Real soft and nice and just... real nice. So I figured I'd give her a couple of these. Maybe I can have one to sit on my desk or something. But I'm not really a big one for collecting plushies or anything like that. But I think that she'll enjoy it, okay? Got one of these right here. The Emerald Whelpling. And this is another little present for my mom for her to put on her desk or use wherever she wants to. Or maybe we can put it somewhere else in the home. And let me go ahead and open this up and show you guys what it looks like. It's probably going to be a green version of that. Just wanted to kind of, you know, let you guys know what to expect. So, there he is. Holy shit, I was right. It's a green version of the other one. There's the green whelpling right there. And I think it looks real nice. It's the same as basically the red one. and she used to farm these out a lot too. And I was gonna get her the blue one too, but it was expensive.
Wash on my face, dude. My mom got me this this shirt, this actually hoodie or whatever. It's kind of dirty. I gotta clean it off. It's got little Illidan right there, right? It's got a little Illidan on the back right here. It says, you know what it says? Yeah, it says cute but deadly. Man, she bought that for me, huh? How about that?
I started taking it seriously and doing things a lot more. Was probably somewhere around in 2000, probably about 2014 or so, and 2013, like late 2013. I was planning on going back to school in the the following semester in college, and my mom got sick, and I figured I would just make WoW videos and do that kind of stuff because I was bored, and that's basically what happened. So I started making WoW videos. I started doing Dad built for me in the house that I live with my mom. I'm 28 years old. I live with my mom. I'm a normal guy, right? That's not really normal, right? But at least I would hope not. But I live with her because I take care of her. A lot of people think that it's because of like the money thing. I just, for anybody that doesn't know, my mom doesn't really have the best time getting around all the time and needs help with some stuff, and that's why I live here. I support her entirely and take care of her, and it's basically why I do live here. Take this out. Oh my god. I'm showing my mom. She's there watching me do the video inside. She's like this. Oh, wow. You're such a good boy. I used to have so many of these, man. I'm gonna show you guys my old collection. A lot of them, I just like, they're broken. Recently, my mom started walking around with a cane. It doesn't matter how many viewers you have. It's not gonna fix it. It's not gonna change it. My dad forgot the middle school I went to. I probably remember today, but he might forget tomorrow, and he forgot that day too. Very well. And I've spent these months spending time more with my parents and enjoying my time and my life. And it's something that I don't really get a lot of opportunities to do.
But my mom, who I've talked about many times, plays WoW. I will be honest, the game has just outpaced her. Like, she can't keep up with the game anymore. Like, she's not as fast as the game wants her to be. There's a lot of people like my mom out there. And it's what happened. And that's why normal's the thing. It's the mechanics themselves. Like, you're not going to feel good about overcoming something whenever you can just stand and just heal through it. Your mom's to play out. She says she's on strike because she doesn't want to do Pathfinder again. Not even kidding. Like, that's actually what she said. You guys are actually on my first monitor. My mom bought this PC for me. So it's actually kind of sad. So my mom got a really good job, and she was like, Zack, I'm so proud of you. You've been going to community college now for a year, and you have 7 credits. I'm going to buy you a computer so it can stay at 7, because you're never going to want to leave the house. What computer do you want? I said, Mom, let's go to Sam's Club, buy me a fucking computer. It's like 2009, 2008. Or 2009, 2010. My mom buys me the computer. It has a 27-inch monitor. You guys are on that monitor right then from 2010. As I said, my mom, you know, she, we water the, you know, like we put out water for the birds. There's a time that I was going to go and put out water for the birds. And I was opening the door, and Mom's like, wait a second. She said, let's give him something special. And she reaches over, and like Donald Trump pulling a $100 bill out of his back pocket to tip a fucking delivery driver, she hands me a bottle of Fiji water. I literally have in my garage. Remember the desert that you have to go through in King's Quest? My mother and I in the 90s mapped that shit out on a piece of fucking cardboard. And we still have it. Because we thought, you know what? We might just fucking use it. Like, just one day we might fucking use it. I'll have to go find it and show it to you guys. My fucking, trust me guys, like my garage is a huge mess. I can't find it right now, but I can get my mom to confirm. Those people are happy. And it's like what my mom has always told me before, is that the best revenge is living well. Now, whenever I was a kid, and even nowadays, somebody fucks me over, I want to fuck them back. But it's like with streaming, it's like, yeah, some viewer, like, what are you going to do? You're going to ban them? But there's nothing that's going to piss them off. And if you go online, you have a good stream, everybody's happy, and that's it. Because to them, you're getting away with it. You're getting away with whatever they feel like you did wrong. And there's not a damn thing they can do about it. And I remember whenever you needed a druid to summon that, my mom would come with me. I told the story 100 times. I'll tell it again because I like telling it. My mom, at the end of my Naxxramas raids in Wrath of the Lich King, would come with me and summon the boss after our raids and help me get them out. And after a few months, I fucking got it. And she'd help me do it every single day after raid. And whenever the Warlords of Draenor pre-order came out, and you were able to pre-order the normal or the deluxe edition, and the deluxe edition came out. It came with the Dread Raven. I could only afford one of these at the time. And thinking back on those days, I gave her the collector's edition, and I took the normal one for myself. Wait, that's faster than my mom. My mom, it took her 50 days to get 60. They closed the Steak and Shake that I waited in front of whenever I waited with my mother on the Burning Crusade release night. Sometimes I see BC, man, and I get so fucking sad. No one asked? Yes, you did by watching my motherfucking stream, bitch. Shut the fuck up. This is so well done. Asmongold's mom hits level 60 from defeating his hairline.
Level 59. She's right about to get to level 60. There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you, Zack.
Level 60.
Remember that video, dude?
Wait, that video has 1.5 million views?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, yeah, my mom has more views than I do. 1.4 million views. It has over twice as many views as... And my mom is awake, you know, she doesn't work. Oh, Jeffrey. You don't have school today? No. Oh, okay. Well, then why'd Cody go to school? Oh. You know how dumb Cody is, right? It was a half day, and Cody had to go earlier because he's dumb, and he had to do extra work. He had to do more schoolwork than me because I already finished everything because I'm smarter than he is. So I don't have to go to school till later. Mom's like, okay. You want me to make you some bacon? Maybe some cupcakes? Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. I'm gonna go up and play some WoW. Okay, me too. And she just fucking made him cupcakes for skipping school. And that's all it was, man. And so she just make us food while we play WoW. Damn. I think I was like 17 or 18 in that picture, man. I was like, fuck, I was like a kid, dude. I remember I got my mom to record me, get my video camera and record me catching a rat in the kitchen. And we got his ass. I live with my mom, I live in my house. Like eventually I will probably buy an actual like new house. Because, I'll probably move in with some girl or something like that, right? And yeah, of course. But I don't, the thing is, like, there are a lot of, like, social expectations that I just don't care about. Like, they don't matter to me. You know, like the idea of, like, oh, well, you're not supposed to live with your parents and everything like that. I like living with my mom. I love my mom. I'm happy here. I grew up here. This is my home. I don't need to change that. I absolutely loved it. I remember watching it, and then I watched it with my mom, and then we watched it again. This is one of the most incredible cinematics that I've seen in a long time. And I would say overall, it's probably one of the best ones. So they basically go, Eric gets removed from class, and he thinks that my mom was the one that ratted him out. Now, my mom grew up in the 60s. You don't talk to the fucking police. My mom did not rat Eric out, okay? She is not a snitch. And she's so much of not a snitch. Here's what happened. 5 months later, 6 months later, 8 months later, we're out playing airsoft guns in a junkyard. Guess who shows up? Guess who it is? The police. They come over to my mom's house, and I'm in the, the police are there again. And so they ask my mom, they're like, do you know where your son is? And she's like, no. And they basically explain that me, Eric, Jason, Tim, Lowell, and I think Alec was there too, had all gotten arrested. But everybody else had gotten arrested except me. I didn't get arrested. You know why? Because the guy that found me and caught me was one of the junkyard people, and they don't pay them very well. And I told him that I'd give him my airsoft gun, that's worth $30, by the way, if he let me go. And so I left. I got let go. And so I got the fuck out of there. I jumped over like a fucking 20-foot fence that had barbed wire on the top of it. I remember this very clear. There's a fence, there's a tree next to it, and I had to like climb onto the tree to like step over the barbed wire. And then I finally get off of that, and I come back home, and I turn off all the lights, I turn everything off, and I come home, and my mom's gone. Nobody's at the house. My mom's never gone. I'm like, fuck. So my other friend Logan comes over, and I'm like, dude, like, the police are actually after us. Because I walk out, I come out past the fucking, like, there's a bunch of trees and shit, right? I come out past the trees, and I look over, and I can see Tim's car. But before I saw Tim's car, I saw the fucking lights on the police car. So I saw like 3 police cars all around Tim's car, like, blocking it in. And so I'm like, okay, we're going the other way now. And so I went back, I go to my house, I turn off the lights, I hide in my room. You know, I tint the blinds, everything like that. Everything's good. My mom comes home. She says, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, just chilling. And she's like, well, I just got back from the police station, and they got Eric, they got Lowell, they got Tim, they got Jason, they got everybody. Why didn't they get you? And I told her, I'm like, I got away. And she was really fucking mad, but I know she's proud of me for that. And so she goes over there. And my mom somehow convinces the police officers not to put them, not to arrest them. My mom never told Eric's mom about this. She never told him. She says that poor woman has been through enough. She don't need to know about this. This is too much. It's too much. Holy shit! My mom used to have this one. Look at that! Yeah, that's the old really nice. My mom, here's what happened. You know what happened? Did I tell you guys what happened with this? So my mom saw this clip. She actually saw this clip online of me, and she immediately went to Amazon, and she ordered me like 8 different pairs of shorts, and she ordered me, she's like, you are gonna go, you're gonna find one of these that I just bought you, and you're gonna go into your room, and you're gonna change your fucking pants right now. I'm like, why? And she's like, because there's a rat that ate a hole in your pants. And I'm like, why? Like, still, I'm still waiting for the reason. She's like, that's the reason. And I'm like, ah, fuck. And so, I basically do. You know what? Whenever I was younger, my other people's taxes went to funding my mom's healthcare and funding my mom's food stamps. And now my taxes go towards funding somebody else's mom's healthcare and somebody else's mom's food stamps. Because that's the way things go. If you don't like that, that's fine. I can understand.
I started as a PvPer because I never had time to raid because my parents were divorced. So I couldn't raid on certain weekdays because I'd be over at my dad's. So I'd have to PvP to get my gear instead. So I started off that way, and to see other people, you know, to recapture that enjoyment again is, it's in a way very nostalgic for me.
I'm sure she's gonna really appreciate me doing these videos.
Alright guys, well, I just had to announce to my mom that I was making a video, and she is shaking her head. She put her hand on her face. She's very annoyed, and she doesn't know that she's not even being recorded. I'm just talking to the camera without looking at her at all. And I just want to start off first thing of the day here, is I want to have my first breakfast. And we're going to get one of these here. There we go. We got ourselves a Reese's peanut butter treat. And now the next thing that I usually do, this is in my house here, is we go and we feed the birds. Do you think they deserve to be fed today? She says yes. She's like, yes, they do deserve to be fed. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Give me 1 second. Well, boys, it's time for us to feed the old birds. So I'll see you guys over at Home Depot. Be back in like 10 minutes or so. Well, they sold out of the first one that I'm trying to get, so now we're going for number 2. Sending text messages to my mom, making sure that she's getting the one that she wants. And I'm gonna tell you guys something, boys. I think I deserve some Wendy's after this bullshit. Finally got over to Wendy's. Holy fuck ass. Too. But he used to drink all the time, and we've had a number of alcoholics in the family, and you know, I asked my dad, I'm like, oh, what happened to Grandpa? And, oh, alcohol poisoning, okay. What happened to, you know, your great uncle, whoever? Oh, that liver failure. Starting to see a pattern here. And then I talked to my mom, and she tells me the same thing. So I've got people on both sides of my family that have had substance abuse problems that have died of them. So I'm getting hit coming and going. I don't have any chances to be slipping up here. And I don't want to take, one time I took a hydrocodone, and this was for, I had some teeth pulled out, and I remember I was like writing something, and I remember I started feeling weird, and I remember like my sight started going away, like I couldn't feel my fingers, and like my toes, I couldn't feel any of that, and like I was like getting like really cold and really hot, and I remember I was just like crying, and like screaming almost. And my mom grew up in the 60s, okay? So she was sitting next to me on the internet watching a YouTube video, and I think the best thing that she did was just, I think she turned the sound down on the video, and, you know, put her hand on my shoulder, was like, it's gonna be okay. But, you know, she wasn't really too stressed out about me having, I looked it up, I think it was an overdose, I have no idea. And I remember like just thinking, I was like, damn, I hope I don't fucking die here. This is gonna suck. And, you know, it scared the shit. And, my mom, I mean, she's a trooper, okay? Like, she's enjoying herself. She's happy. Oh, this is okay. Everything's fine. You know, she actually took it pretty well. I mean, as I said, she was there with me whenever all this stuff was turned off whenever we were younger.
Dude, I remember one time, so fucking my mom, back in TBC, she would make all of her money through alchemy. And she was a transmute master, which means that she could... Fucking my mom. Shut up, man. Like, you know how I talk. You know that's not what I meant. You know that, dude. Listen, she fucking was playing Burning Crusade, and she was a transmute master. And there was one time that she if you're a transmute master, you can proc extra things whenever you do a transmute. Like, instead of making 1, you make 3. There was one time that she procced 5 primal mites out of 1. I remember she was like, Zack, get in here. Get in here, quick. Quick, look at this. She was so happy. It was such a big fucking day, man. Yeah. So it was about 30 or 20 degrees in my house. And we have one space heater that I gave to my mom, and then I was outside role-playing as if I was Les Strauss. Mythic plus affix here is that my mom's blood pressure medicine ran out the day the snowstorm happened. Oh, how about that? A little bit of, a little bit of excitement there. And to say that I was stressed out would be an understatement, okay? I was so upset. I was so worried. And I told her, I was like, listen, if they open that pharmacy, I will walk the miles in the snow, just like Grandpa told us, uphill to get to the fucking pharmacy and bring you back your fucking medicine. And it turned out that I had to drive like that, but I did not actually have to, I did not have to walk, which was good. So we did get our medicine, everything's okay. I was so stressed out. Oh my God, you have no idea. Like, because it's like the helplessness that you have, right? Because yes, obviously, like the EMS would get there if something went wrong with her, but like, what would the response time be? 3 hours? Where could I go? I couldn't do anything. So like, you're just sitting there, and you know that there's something wrong, and you can't fucking do anything about it. And you know that if something, it's the helplessness of it just kills you, and it's stress. Like, for example, in 10 years, what if like one of my parents gets cancer and I have to help pay for their treatment or some form of like advanced care for them? That could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or, what if I get cancer? Or what if I get in an accident and I'm disabled? There's never really a way that I can feel completely comfortable unless you had like, $100 million or something like that. So that's always been like my philosophy on it, is that even though things are going okay now, I always want to make sure that I have what I need in case something bad does happen to me. Or hi, you're on stream. Okay, can you tell them they think that I'm faking it because I gagged eating a one bite of a salad?
Yes. He wasn't faking. He's never eaten vegetables except for hot sauce on enchiladas and tamales and tacos, things like that.
So I've never eaten any sort of greens at all.
Well, one time you did try spinach.
And what happened?
That didn't work out.
Why not?
It was quite a bit worse than the salad just happened.
Yep. So
never.
No green things, basically. And that's what I've always told you. I said blue things taste good, green things taste bad.
I don't know if you know this or not, the grits are actually corn. And you do eat grits, but they're pulverized, so...
It's not really the same thing at that point?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So I just want... I'm glad, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so glad because everybody thinks I'm faking this shit, and I really thought I was about to die. Why not? I just thought I was going to throw up.
I saw it. I thought you were going to throw up too, yeah.
All right, thank you. I'll talk.
Leap through the port.
I told them how we did arena too, and how we got mad at each other.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
But nothing would beat the first one we ever did.
This is embarrassing. I forgot about this.
Where we were going the opposite way. Yeah, we thought the gate was the other way.
Both me and my mom were doing arena, and we were running at the gate, but it was the other direction. We didn't know that. We thought it was like fucking 30 seconds. We're like, man, I don't know if they fucking brought this out as the right way. We're running the wrong fucking way. Yeah.
You're so mad at me all the time.
Listen to this.
Why was I mad?
Because I died.
Yeah.
My one job was to heal you, and of course I couldn't do that when I was dead. Then the guys would come out and it was kill the druid.
Yep.
And then I'd be dead. Only once. Once. Once they killed you.
Yeah.
And then I killed them.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
No peels? Yeah,
I did
sure.
arena with my mom. My first arena team, my first arena game ever was with my mom. This is not it. This is a screenshot of us playing together. I was an idiot. The first time the gates opened for the arena, we ran the opposite direction because we didn't know what side the gates opened on. So we were running against the wall while the arena was beginning. Now, we played together. Everything went relatively well, but the truth is that I was an asshole and I would get mad at my mom constantly. And I ended up leaving the arena team. And my mom saw that I left the arena team. And I remember she typed me in chat, "Fuck you." She was not happy that I left the arena. Cody was sitting around and my mom felt bad for Cody. She always took it's like, you know, you have a pet that people are mean to, and my mom is like, "Oh, it's okay, Cody, I'll help you pay for your flying, it's alright, I know Jeff doesn't let you play a lot." And my mom would help Cody, and she helped him get Karazhan tuned, and Cody at this point was in greens mostly. He was in greens and blues, he wasn't having a good time. Meanwhile, Jeff was chilling in full tier 4. This is before this screenshot, he only had tier 4 at this time. But my mom took an interest in making sure that Cody was happy and that Cody had an opportunity to play with. Zack didn't have enough to get his epic flying. And you know what, guys? Neither did I. Neither did I. But you know who did have enough? My mom. My mom helped me pay for the rest of my epic flying mount that I paid her back for, by the way. But it took me quite a while. And my mom, on that night, around that time, helped me pay for my epic flying mount for the first time. And I was able to afford it. I was so happy. And I was also happy about how much health I had because I was the tank in Karazhan at that time. This is whenever I was not in a guild. And I was able to afford my artisan riding and ride around for the first time on my Nether Drake. That's why I had so many screenshots of it. Because it wasn't just the Nether Drake. It wasn't just my first Nether Drake. It was my first flying epic mount. Flying Crusade? I remember, no, in Vanilla WoW, this was the funniest fucking thing ever. I was getting ready to go to school. I woke up in the morning, and my mom had just gotten herself the morning cup of tea, and she was so happy and so excited because today she was going on a raid. And you know what she was raiding? Dire Maul. I came home from school, and I said, "Mom, how'd the raid go?" And she said, "It's going." And they were sitting there, like, drinking because somebody was AFK. And this was like, 7 hours later because I was at school for 8 hours. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to go into my room. So I go into my room. I'm playing WoW. And I saw that she was still in Dire Maul. And I come out a few hours later. I'm like, "Mom, what are you going to cook me for dinner?" And she's like, "I don't fucking know. I don't know. You get whatever you want. You get whatever. Just eat whatever you want, Zack. I don't care." She's still in Dire Maul. And finally, I'm getting ready to go to bed. And she's like, she's like this. And like, you can tell that she's just been through a 14-hour raid of Dire Maul. She absolutely hated the game. And she still, to this day, remembers that raid as a... My mom has...
Buildings together? You were...
My mom has, I'm not even kidding you, 2 guild banks full of Warlords of Draenor materials. Because she had like 8 characters with full garrisons, and she would do the garrison on every single character every single day. It was insane. Yeah, she was super serious about it, guys. It was nuts. Bad time. It's a really bad time. So one time my mom had like I don't really know if it was like a heart attack or not, but it was like something that was like kind of related to that. And I remember she was like on the floor in my bathroom.
and she was like having this happen, and she was begging me not to call 911 because she didn't want to have to pay the money for it, and she didn't want to like lose the house because of the money that it would be. And I remember like that day, like I felt like I never have felt more hopeless and more helpless in my life in that day. I remember what it felt like to be in that position. And I remember how bad I felt that day. And I remember I got so bad, I got like really bad PTSD from it. And it was so bad that I would literally wake up in the middle of the night. I could never sleep more than 2 hours a night because I would wake up and my brain would hear my mom like screaming or crying or yelling for help. And I would have to get out of bed like every 2 hours and check on her to see if she was okay. And this lasted for like 6 months or a year. It was brutal. So sorry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I've never believed that that which does not kill you makes you stronger. I think this actually did make me a weaker person, and it hurt me a lot. But it is what it is. I don't think about...
This will one day be a big tree. Right now, it's just sitting there. And I haven't planted it yet or potted it yet. But my mom ordered this, and she really wanted this special tree.
I really don't want it to die. You know, she'd be really upset if it dies. And it would be sad if it died, to be honest. It would be sad. And some of us even brought our moms. I brought my mom's druid into Naxxramas 25 man. And while her guild was wiping and clowning and fucking around in Naxxramas 10 man, she was killing 25 man bosses in Naxxramas. It was fucking hilarious. I remember watching her character, and whenever we killed Kel'Thuzad and that achievement popped up that she had killed Kel'Thuzad, you know, Kel'Thuzad's downfall or whatever the fuck it was, they were fucking furious. They were actually mad at the fact that she was able to do that. It pissed them off so fucking much. And you know what? That's what they fucking get for being a shit guild. My mom went to the raids every single week, and she turned out to be probably the best geared druid on the server. And you know what? She kept showing up. And it was really fucking funny to think that my mom was one of the best geared druids on the server. After I did the stuff with Kryptonites, I went with my mom, and she helped me every single night. Every single night. And we would do Sethakhal's Heroic in order to get the mount from Anzu. And it took a long, long fucking time. And we would do this together, just the two of us, me and my mom, every night doing this dungeon on Heroic. This is my life. And it was beautiful. On this server, my mom sent me a special little present, a going away present. I transferred to kill Jaden with Rob, with the entire rest of the guild bank. We stole everything out of our own guild, and we left. I still have the letter. Yes, I still have the letter. I transferred over to kill Jaden thinking that I would have opportunities to raid, to PvP, to pop off, to do things that I had never done before, to achieve heights I had never been at before, to do something to achieve on a level that I never thought was even an opportunity for me. I never thought that I could even do this. And I wanted to take my chance. I wanted to go out there, and I wanted to do everything that I could and really see what I was capable of. Could I ever really do it? I left Cora behind. I left everyone behind. I left my mother behind. I left everything that I knew behind. And then my mom. My mom, I showed this right here. My mom sent me a little pet, a little pet for my pet bombling, and a special tasty cupcake and some snowballs for my birthday. And she was leveling a new character on Kel'Thuzad to play with me again, so we could play on the same server again. And she would end up leveling up the character. And yeah, that's what happened. We also did ICC 10-man Heroic too. Like, we weren't playing games. We were here. My mom had only wanted one mount in her entire time playing the game. She'd only wanted one mount ever. That mount was the Swift Zebra. I saved up my money, and on Christmas Day, I gave her a little zebra that came together with the rest of the game, and I bought her the Recruit a Friend mount, and I leveled up the character with her, so she was able to get the zebra for her character. I got that. So anyway, my mother and I, we've had a raccoon problem, and every single raccoon we catch, we put a raccoon magnet on the refrigerator that doesn't work. Like a fighter pilot in World War II. This is raccoon number 6. Yep. And those are the little crabs. So my mom went and she bought this little crab. So she goes over and she's like, look at this thing that I got. And it's this thing right here. And I ask her, I'm like, what is this? Like, why did you buy this thing? What is the purpose of this thing? And then she showed me. That's it. Well, a lot of the things that it showed in the game and everything are things that I did with my mom, right? Things that I said to my mom. And she even looked like my mom. And it sounds really, like, weird, but after the stream, I literally went, I lay down and I cried about that for like 10 minutes, like a half hour probably. Like, I was so sad. Like, it made me so fucking sad. Like, it did, and like, I talked about this on my second stream because I almost cried even talking about it the first time, but I'm good now. But fuck, man, it really... I don't want my mom to hear this unless she's watching the stream. My mom has smoked cigarettes every day for my whole life. It breaks my heart to watch her barely be able to walk across the room. I remember the day, dude. I remember the day that I beat Bowser in Super Mario World. And I was sitting in front of my TV in the living room. It was like downstairs. And I beat Bowser. And I ran in. And my mom was taking a nap. And I woke her up. I said, Mom, get the fuck out here. I beat him. And I dragged her ass out of bed. And I was like, listen, look at this. I beat Bowser right here. And we watched the credits together. And this is like, I was like 6 or 7 or 8 years old, right? I was like the biggest accomplishment that I had ever had. I'll have to wait until like I get one of those notifications that she won a game. And then I'll go downstairs like, Mom, can you make me food? Because I'll know that she's in a good mood. I'm like, Mom, yeah, how you doing? You doing good? All right, so how about a steak? How about a steak? It's my mom has not been doing she's not been doing particularly well, and it's been just it's been so hard. And the worst thing about it is that I don't know if it's like like she likes buying things on Amazon, right? And she likes doing these things, but she buys so many things, and it's like the house is like just filled with these things, and it's like, is this like a hoarding thing or like what? Like it's hard to get around in the house, and it's like I want to be able to buy her these things, and I buy these things for her, right? I buy these with money I make from my stream, and I do it with a smile on my face. I want to do this for her, but like I don't know, like I don't know if I'm like enabling this. I don't. And it's like, it's not just that, it's that, like, I feel like I don't know if I'm doing the right thing for her, and I don't know if I'm, like, enabling, and it's not just this, it's, like, other stuff, too, with, like, the way she's eating, and, like, you know, I have to buy her cigarettes because it's hard for her to leave the house, and it's like, am I enabling her to do that whenever she has such a hard time breathing? And it's just so hard to know what the right decision is. It's just so hard because I don't know what the right decision. I don't know what to do. And I think about this every day. Like every day I think about this constantly because I see her, and it's not just it's that, it's just it's just so stressful. And the thing is, basically, long story short, is my mom has been sick. And pretty much what happened, like, this is the reason, like, a big reason why I had taken the last break that I did. It's just been one break after another, right? It's because I took a week off to help my mom, and because I was, like, just really stressed out about a lot of stuff, and this was one of the biggest reasons why I was, is because of her health. And so, this was, I guess, on, I don't know, like, Thursday of 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, I don't even know. And, anyway, so she just couldn't, she couldn't really do anything. You know, we grew up really poor, so, like, actually seeking medical help is not necessarily the first line of defense. It's usually to sleep it off, or to wait and see, and that's just usually what you do if you don't have the money. But eventually I convinced her, and she convinced herself. Her oxygen levels were really, really low, and I convinced her to go to the hospital, and I had to drive her up to the emergency room. This was like at night, and I told her that she'd get out that night, and I mean, I didn't know. I mean, like, what do I know, right? I'm not a doctor. That did not happen, though. She was there for a few days, and they did a bunch of tests on her, and she was not really very happy at the hospital, and this is, of course, like, a big worry for me. I'm very, like, stressed out, like, every day. Like, I felt, in a way, I felt at ease because she was in the hospital and she was being taken care of, but in a way I didn't, because of COVID and she's not vaccinated. And so it's like a balance, right? It's like a mix between, oh my God, and oh thank God, right? So it's been very hard. I remember Cody came over, and it was the first time Cody had seen her, and she was how she is now. And I remember he went upstairs here, and he just started crying, man. And that was the first time I really cried about it too. It's just, I mean, she was his mom too, and is his mom too. Like, she took such good care of us whenever we were kids, man. And we're gonna do our best to take care of her. We're gonna do whatever we can. I try to stay strong for her and not freak out or get sad or anything like that. I want to get somebody to help out around the house, and this is something I'm probably going to be looking into this week. And even if it's not necessarily permanent or whatever, I do hope that she gets better. I do hope that she can move past this, or at least be able to be comfortable. Will that happen? I don't know. There's a chance that it won't. There's a chance that it will. I have no idea. And I hope it will, but maybe it won't. Hire a Tataru. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. And yeah, this has been probably one of the worst months of my life so far, at least. And I want to thank everybody who's been so supportive and everything throughout it, because I checked, and I would read out all of the nice comments of people saying that they're like, I've been praying for my mom, and I'm not religious, right? But it's like, if there's a 1% chance, you know, you might as well do it, you know. I feel stupid doing it, but I still do it. Stay positive, help your mom stay positive too. That's what I really tried to do, man. That's what I really tried to do. I try my best, and it's hard, right? Because I don't, like, I have my friends and everything, and I have a close, like, I don't really have any other family besides my mom and my dad, and, you know, they don't live anywhere near me, and so it's like, this is pretty much all on my shoulders. And my parents are divorced, and my dad will help, and I really appreciate that. My dad's always been able to, like, come through and help. If there's something that I need or anything for everything, my dad's always been able to come through for me. But this is really my burden to bear, not necessarily his. I've got to be strong and do what I need to do. I'll do my best, and that's the best I can do. I feel guilty for my best not being good enough a lot of times. But, you know, do what I can.
Hey Hey guys, I wanted to make this video and kind of let everybody know where I've been and what's been going on. I just got back from the hospital. I was seeing my mom, and she just got done with surgery, and she's been in the hospital for the past week or so. And I'd like to tell you guys pretty much what happened and how she got there and what's been going on with me. So let's rewind back to, I think, last Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday, I believe. There was news that had come out, and I had heard about this, and I wanted to go live and talk about the news on my second stream. I did that, and I was just talking about, it was like classic WoW fresh or something like that. And I got a text from my mom, and she wanted me to bring her a Pepsi, and so I went in and I did that, and I felt very worried because she wasn't really feeling very well. She was just kind of, it felt like, because she had gone home from the hospital previously, and it felt like things were just kind of on a steady decline. And this was something that was incredibly weighing on my mind, stressing me out constantly. I was only able to sleep probably 2 hours a night before I would wake up and have a panic attack until I had to go out and check to make sure that she was okay, because there have been times whenever I had and she wasn't. So I was not in a very good spot, and I go in and I see her and I come back to my stream, and I just really was not in the mental mindset to stream. You can go back and check the VOD, and it was just, a night and day difference. And I ran around in a circle. Give me just 1 second. My mom texted me, but she just asked me to bring her a Coke. I'm gonna bring her a Coke and a bottle of water. Oh, crap. She's been debating and probably kind of wants to go back to the hospital over the past few days. It makes me nervous because she doesn't have the vaccine. She's not going to get the vaccine. And COVID was also very demanding for her to go anywhere. So I'm like a deer in the headlights dealing with this shit, man. I just feel so guilty because I feel like I could be doing so much more. I could be doing the right thing. Am I doing the wrong thing? I'll see you guys later. I don't want to be on stream right now. So I turned off my stream and I went to lay down. I talked to her a little bit. I went to lay down, and my room was right next to hers. And I was laying down, just stressed out, etc. And I heard a really loud crash, and I looked up, and there were a bunch of lights all in her room. And I didn't really hear her saying anything, but I heard this massive crash, the lights going and everything like that. I go in, and turns out that she had been smoking and a little bit too close to her oxygen machine. So there's fire everywhere, and including on her. I had to put all of that out, and the fire was a little oxygen tube was going to the tank, and it was it's like in a cartoon, right, where the little fire is going to the bomb. And so I was like, oh my God. Immediately turned off the tank. I was able to stop it from exploding or anything like that. And I had to put the fire out on the floor. It was just everywhere and on her. And she couldn't even really speak. I think it had obviously knocked the wind out of her because it knocked her out of her chair. And immediately I called 911, and they came, and I've said this before, but the people that work on first responders are just absolute gods. They were just there on the spot, took care of the problem, immediately assessed the situation, did an incredible job. Shout out to them. And also the people working at the hospital that are helping her now recover. So this ended up happening, and obviously I'm just completely freaking out. I have no idea what's going on. I didn't know if she was going to live, to be completely honest with you. And what's really kind of scary about it to me is the fact that if I wasn't there at that exact time, if I hadn't streamed that day, gone in that time, come back out, and gotten stressed out on my stream and laid down in that bed, she probably wouldn't be alive, because I would probably be upstairs. I wouldn't have heard any of this. She would have had no help. She didn't have her phone next to her. She couldn't even really move. And it's terrifying, and also really weird how honestly incredibly lucky it was that I was there. And I can't, I replay the situation in my head probably, I don't know, like 3 times an hour, 4 times an hour. And I just still can't even believe that it happened, that it was real. And anyway, so I put out all the fires, put out the fire on her. I get an aloe plant, and I give that to her so she can put it on her face to stop the immediate burning. And apparently that did help too. So, because we do have an aloe plant in case there are burns or anything like that in our house. And EMS comes, and they were assessing her in the ambulance, and then just they had to drive her to the hospital because they had to put her on a that is like a breathing thing because she couldn't breathe on her own. And I didn't get a call from the hospital that day until like 8. Like, I didn't even know if she was alive. I didn't know what was happening at all because I couldn't get through to anybody. And next day, I couldn't really see her or talk to her because she was still on a ventilator. And it was just like really scary because I didn't know what was happening at all in any regard. But the nurses and the doctors were working on her pretty much 24/7 to help her and everything. So that was a relief. However, I mean, it was a pretty stressful thing regardless. So anyway, I was just able to see her. I came back today, and I've been able to see her another time before. And I've tried to limit the amount of times that I've gone into a hospital for obvious reasons now. And just having direct contact with her, just in an abundance of caution for obvious reasons, as I said. But that's pretty much what's happened with me. And I've been dealing with that pretty much every day, and trying to follow up and figure out what's going to happen from here. The doctors and the team that's working on her is relatively optimistic, which is reassuring for me, but I'm still very concerned. And I wanted to make this video and tell everybody pretty much what happened in the most raw way possible. And it's probably one of the scariest experiences I've ever had in my life. I don't think I'll ever forget it, but I just can't. I can't wrap my head around the fact that the stars aligned to the fact that I was just there in that situation at that time to help her and potentially save her. I can't even really come to terms with it. So last week my mom passed away, and I'll be honest, I still can't come to terms with it. I still feel like every time I say it, I'm lying. Like, oh, well, she'll be back next week. Gosh, she's just on a trip. She'll be back. I'll go into her room before I go to bed, and I'll look for her to say goodnight to her and wake up and look in her chair where she would sit in and see if she's there. And there's a big part of me that hopes that never stops. And this is probably the worst thing and the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with so far. And I don't know if I'll ever really be the same. And I kind of wanted to share what happened and talk a little bit more about her, and just kind of, I would look things up. I would talk to my dad about it for hours every day. I went to, she raised us, not us, me, her and I went to a church. It's a Roman Catholic church. I had communion and everything whenever I was young, and we went to Mass every Sunday. And I even went to our old church to, pray for her. And I got a call from my dad, and we had to meet with like all the doctors and everybody, because they wanted to actually have like a conversation to get everybody on the same page. And whenever we did that, they pretty much told me and my dad that she had end-stage COPD. That had nothing really to do with the burns. Like, she was in critical condition before that fire even happened. And we tried everything that we could. Tried different types of treatments, different types of like machines, everything. And finally it got down to the point where we either had to put her on a ventilator, or we had to just make her as comfortable as possible. And they told me that, and I knew that I look at her and like she had so many other things wrong with her, heart problems, like her, everything. I mean, she's 70 years old and overweight. And it's like, if we put her on the ventilator, we're just waiting for something else bad to happen. You know, we're waiting on the next thing to happen. And I knew it would happen. And it was kind of already happening with some other secondary problems that she was having. Like, it was not a realistic solution. And we all agreed that if she went on that ventilator, she'd probably just never come off of it. And I couldn't really bear to put her through that. And so we tried to just make her as comfortable as possible, and that's pretty much what happened. And again, I don't know if that was the right decision. We had a lot of conversations about her quality of life and everything, and it was all just fucking grim, man. It was just fire and brimstone grim. And I just, it was the hardest decision I'd ever had to make. And my dad and I obviously made it together. And I don't know if it was the right decision, but I'm pretty much certain that it was. My mom, like, she wasn't just like a mom for me. Like Zack and Cody and Lowell and Cameron and Jeff and AJ and everybody else in my neighborhood, and in a way, our little makeshift family. She would always ask about Cody and Jeff, and she would say, how are my other sons doing? And it was so hard to tell Cody and Zack, man, it really was. Oh man, it really was. Like, I'm not an emotional person, but instead of being filled with like grief, it's just filled me with so much emptiness. She was my best friend, and I would come home and I would be so happy to see her, and I would lock the door whenever I'd leave so nobody could come and like bother her or anything. She was just so precious to me and so important to me. And it wasn't I've just been there, like my dad has just been there for me, and I've been there for him too. Like, you gotta remember, like, my mom and my dad knew each other for 50 fucking years. I think it was a lot harder for him than he lets on. And that really does kind of make me sad. But anyway, also, whenever I told Izzy that my mom was in the hospital, she had there's this little like Swedish horse, and she had a special hand-carved Swedish horse sent to the house, and she wanted me to give it to my mom whenever she came back home. And whenever she found out that might not happen, I brought it directly to the hospital and I gave it to my mom, along with also a Swedish cooking book, so she could look at all the different meals and everything. And my mom, horses were her favorite animal. It made her so happy, and Izzy was there for me like every day, and we talked about it, and her and my mom were very close too, and they spent a lot of time talking and just being together. And anyway, whenever they were both living in the same house with me, we pretty much were running a miniature Amazon warehouse. I'm not even kidding, like probably 5 to 10 packages coming to the house every single day. That between the two of them, they would order. And my mom, of course, was using Social Security does not really pay that well, so she was using my card, and she would buy so much stuff, and like we had no room for this stuff, but it made her so happy, and how could I say no? I mean, She was so old, it was hard for her to do anything. This is one of the only things that she could do to make herself happy. Of course I did it. And, but it was a pain in the ass having to throw away all the boxes every week.
My mom was the most casual player in WoW. She didn't even... The last time that she did a raid was in Wrath of the Lich King. Okay? Like, she just logged on, did world quests, managed her professions, sold things on the auction house, and did whatever the hell she wanted. And even she cared about getting better gear. This is what people play. They play MMOs and RPGs for. It's like, it's so, like, antithetical. Oh, well, I play an MMO. No, I don't care about getting better gear. No, I don't want to get better gear. I play the game. I just play the game. I actually found in my old room a binder of my mom's notes from a video game from like the 1980s and like character information from like way back then. I felt like I literally found like the Dead Sea Scrolls or some kind of shit. Yeah, I gotta show you guys this thing because I even pulled it out. I showed her. I'm like, what is this? Like, what is that? And she's like, oh, that's an old game. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even know she knew any of that stuff. And like, it turns out, yeah, my mom had some of that too. Yeah, like that was unbelievable. I think it was a game called Adventure. If that's something like that, I had my mom off heal me whenever I did that boss. Like, she was healing me like way off in the distance, and then she would move out of range of the mind control to top me off, and then run away. Dude, oh my god, that's so crazy. It's like, that was literally like fucking, what was that, 12, 13 years? 7. I was a little shithead, 16, 17 years old, throwing rocks out the window of my school bus. Coming home, playing World of Warcraft, Burning Crusade with my mom and with Zack, with Cody, with Jeff, staying up late and not having any clue that it would ever be over. Like, we thought we were gonna do this shit forever, and so far it's been going pretty well. But the fact is that, like, yeah, we thought it was just gonna keep going forever. There was never a sense of there was a sense of I don't know, like, you never thought it would end. There was never a sense. Jeff was talking to my mom about how he was stupid, and my mom was just like, she was laughing. She thought it was funny because she knew that Jeff wasn't stupid, and she explained to him that there's a lot of different types of intelligences. You know, there's like emotional intelligence, there's academic intelligence, there's, you know, like musical intelligence, there's physical intelligence, etc. And I think that makes, so like, I'll tell a little story right before I open up the other ones. So the reason why like the problem with the like, it's taken a long time to get like some of my mom's stuff like kind of sorted out is the fact that, like, we had to, like, her death certificate didn't say at the beginning that it was caused by tobacco. And I had to get them to go back and put it that it was, for statistics. Because I want everybody to know that that's what happened. That's what happened, that's what it was. Because, like, yeah, exactly. Good, man, yeah, fuck that. I made them go back through that whole thing. Because that's some horse shit, man. Like, I hate smoking, I hate cigarettes, I've never liked it, I never understood why she did that shit. It made no sense to me. It was so weird. Yeah, my mom smokes too. Yeah, I tried to get her to stop, man. I told her I was like 8 years old. I said, you're gonna kill yourself smoking cigarettes, and she said, you know, whatever, right? And that's what happened, unfortunately. Like, I can't fucking believe that. Yeah, I can't fucking believe that shit. Like, that pisses me off so much. I didn't really even put up a tree this year, to be honest. It was too hard to do. I'll probably do it next year. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Same, I get that. Yeah, I used to celebrate Christmas and, like, put everything up, put up the manger scene, put up all the lights and everything, but, like, my mom not there. It was like, why am I even doing it? You know what I mean? It was hard for me to motivate. My mom, like, she would go to elementary school, because, like, my mom, like, y'all might not know this, but, like, my mom had, like, a computer. These are, like, the computers that they have, like, nuclear codes in. You know, like, the monitor is this small and it's only green. And she had, like, one of those, and she had IBM. My mom was literally flying out, because, like, my grandfather he was a pilot in World War II, right?
And basically, like after he was a pilot in World War II, he did like cartography and like map shit. And so my mom actually went out and she was looking at computers and shit in like the 60s and 70s. Like I'm talking about like really, yeah. My grandmother was a nurse in World War II. That's where they met, and so that's what it was. Yeah. And yeah, so they had that happen, and my mom, like, so she's had computers, like I've had computers my whole life, like my whole life. And yeah, the same as my grandparents. Yeah, I thought that's cool as fuck. And so yeah, anyway, so I've had computers my whole life. Like I even have like the old computer. I still have the old big computers. So like my mom was into technology in like the 70s. So I grew up with like all kinds of stuff like that, and like we didn't have a whole lot of money, as I said before, but like goddamn, we had a computer because she would work from home. She was a writer, so you know, this is what she would do. And also, like, this is what my mom did. So my mom had this problem. My mom had this issue, and it was called credit card debt. Because what we used to do whenever we were younger, right, whenever I was a kid, is my mom would get a credit card and she would use one credit card to pay off the other credit card. And so this was a strategy that worked actually really quite well. And so she kept having it rotated around, and she would keep applying for more credit cards. And so she was like $100,000 in debt. Was like, that's not really that much, right? Because it just kept going up every year, and she was stressing out about it. And one day I asked her, I'm like, you're not really gonna pay that off. You know you're not going to. It is what it is. Don't worry about it. And she's like, yeah, it's true. Let's go to Taco Bell. And so that was about it, because like even whenever I was younger, I'm like, oh, they can't take the house away from you, so what's the problem? And so yeah, people were pissed off about that shit, and you know, they would send her letters, they would always, you know, call her and everything like that. And it's like, that's what I used to do in middle school, is every single time after lunch, is I would pretend to be sick, and I could increase my temperature enough to where the nurse would have to tell me to lay down by, like, you know, breathing onto the thermometer in a certain way, right, and trying to fake it as much as I could. And I would do this, and then as soon as I got that, I was able to call my mom, and I was like, Mom, you've got to come get me. And she says, why? And I'm like, I'm not feeling good. I feel sick. And she's like, okay, all right, I guess I'll go get you. And she goes and she picks me up from school. I don't have to go to English class, which was 6th period, which I didn't want to go to right after lunch. And what I got to do instead is I got to go to Taco Bell. Because I convinced her that Taco Bell would make me feel better. So now I get 2 lunches. I get to go to Taco Bell. I leave school early. I just can't stop winning. And I never even had it. And I think back, and it's like today's Easter, and we used to have, you know, going, and we would do the eggs, and, you know, she'd plant the eggs for me and everything, and it sucks. It really does, but you can't do anything about it. You can't stop it. You can't push it away. Time goes on no matter what. And that finality of it, it's in a way, it's free, because there's nothing that you can do. You can't stop it. You can't hold it back. You can't hope it won't happen. You can't hold on to what's falling away. There's nothing that you can do. And I've tried to embrace that a lot more, because if you don't, it'll embrace you. And that's what it did for years. And it ruined my life. It completely ruined my life. So yeah, and whenever I was very young, I used to be the same way that I am now. And over the years, I just kind of got beat down and upset, etc. And it wasn't me. It wasn't me, and now I can be me again. And I don't know. Like, yeah, it's weird. It is fucking weird, man. It's really fucking weird.
Some good replies to the comment. I mean, I'm not going to read every. I love you, Matt. Yeah, it sucks, right? It is Mother's Day, and so it does suck. But I try to think about all of the good times, and you know what? There really were a lot of good times. I'll tell you that for sure. There were a lot of fucking good times. Yeah, make sure to tell your mom that you love her if you can today, guys. It's a It's a good thing. We all think your mom today, she's not forgotten. I know she's not. I know for sure. Like, if she was around, she would make fun of me for being sad that she's not around. Straight up. Like, I used to, like, if ever she was, like, you know, if ever we were, like, bored, I would read comments about myself, like, all the mean comments to her. And, you knew... Zuma, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I would read all the mean comments, and bro, like, we would laugh at those for so long, man. Like, it was a good... I got my mom to play a druid because I thought druids were the best healers in the game, and I wanted her to heal me. That's why she played a druid. I was like, trust me, Mom, this is the best class. This is the best one. And so she went with it, and it's like there's a time that like my mom was like really into like mythology and like Greek mythology, and so she taught me all about it. There's this kid in my neighborhood, and she taught this kid about the Kraken. He thought that shit was real. Like, that shit was real. He's like, wait a hold up. So it eats ships? Wait, so you tell me it eats ships? And she's like, oh no, it's not real. It's not real. And he thought that she was lying to him. I had to, you know, back when my mom was in the hospital and everything, right? Especially the last days, I would go out and I would smile and I would wave to the security guard as I left the hospital. And then I would go out into my car and I would cry in my car for a half. No, it was so lit. Like, I'm telling you, like, some of the earliest memories, like, that I have is, like, my mom, before we moved to Austin, like, it was, like, me and, like, her and, like, my cousin, who was, like, 10 years older than me, that was, like, you know, in my mind, like, a fucking video game wizard, right? And like, occasionally he'll watch my stream, you know, by the way. And, anyway, so he, like, it was like we even have pictures of like him and like me and like my mom like in front of the fucking TV in like 1991, like shit like that, in front of the Atari, in front of like the original fucking Nintendo, man. Oh my god. Like those...
like so much shit happened. Like,
it was...
the war started.
Well, like, that's whenever I had, like, all that stuff with my mom, too. Like, oh my god, man. Like, I remember I have never been under more stress in my life. And it's like nothing was even, like, remotely fucking close. It was so bad. And it's weird because, like, now that, like, everything is over and, you know, it happened, like, a number of months ago now. So, like... I can kind of, like, emotionally, like, not really move past it, but I can, you know, she took care of the kids. My dad was able to, you know, he had a good job, and he actually, he gave even more money to my mom than he had to for child support. And that let her not have to take a full-time job so she could be around the house all the time and take care of me and help me out. And I'd want to be able to give that to... My mom would feel sorry for Cody and send Cody gold. And then Jeff, who was on Horde, would get jealous that my mom was giving Cody gold and not him. So she would get on Cody's account and then put up auctions on his Horde account and then buy out his own auctions on, like, the, what was it, on the fucking, the different faction auction house, right? Like the Goblin auction house. So we could take Cody's gold that my mom gave to Cody and give it to himself. And then I confronted Jeff about it. I'm like, why are you doing this? And he's like, it doesn't matter. Your mom will just give him more. Yeah, she'll just give him more gold. It doesn't even matter. And she did. You know, especially with my mom, right? I couldn't take a chance on if it was fake or not. I couldn't take a chance on if it was, you know, the common cold or not. Not with my mom. So I had to wear a mask. Right, I did that.
And so that's like I remember my mom and I waited at a GameStop. Like we pre-ordered Wrath of the Lich King, Burning Crusade, Cataclysm, and I think Mists of Pandaria was the last one that we pre-ordered, and then after that we had digital downloads. So we were waiting out there in the cold, in the rain. It's fucking it's nasty outside. That's what we did, man. It was great. I still remember so clearly the Burning Crusade release night. It's weird to me because like that GameStop is still around, and sometimes I'll go back into that GameStop and my mom was like, man, if they don't fucking get rid of this zombie shit, I am done with the game. Like she mauled it so hard. And she was like out, I remember she was like posted out in like Darnassus because she would play the auction house all the time and like farm shit and sell it. So she was all the way out in Darnassus, but the plague finally got out there and people kept killing her. She was furious, man. And they got rid of it after like, I think it was 6 days. I remember I got home, my mom, she bought me Mario Party 3. Because like, so I played it at my cousin's house, Mario Party 2, and I thought it was like the best game ever. I came home, I'm like, Mom, you have to buy me this game. It's not an option. So she bought me Mario Party 2. Mario Party 3 comes out, and she took me up to like Target or Walmart or someplace, and she bought me Mario Party 3 pretty much like the week it came out. And I remember like Cameron and like Amber and Ashlyn, like his sisters, like they all came over, and like usually we'd have to go to bed at like, you know, fucking like 10 p.m. because we were like 8 and 9 years old. But like our parents just said fuck it, they got a new video game, we're gonna let them play Mario Party until midnight. And I remember playing Mario Party 3 a fucking late as shit, and I was like 9 years old, man. And it was like, yeah, usually they'd have to come home or something like that, and it was never an issue.
Mario Party
Dude,
3.
we loved Mario. We bought every single one. I remember I did Pit of Sauron with my mother, and the battered hilt dropped. She won the fucking roll. She beat me on the fucking roll to it. And she was, I remember she did the entire quest line, the whole fucking thing. And she got this little rinky-dink mace that looks like it was for gnomes, and she was mad about it. And I was like, you just got, because it's a 251 item level weapon. It's like, that's an ICC 10-man item, and you don't even like it. What the fuck?
Yeah, this is some pork my mom ordered. It was some overpriced thing at on eBay. I think this, you know.
Yeah.
It's just overpriced fork because Bob ordered on eBay. Just
Yep, that's right. It's like a silver fork. Like it was like there's a set of forks that she bought, and it was like $200. And she's like, I'm thinking about buying these. And I'm like, great. Just what we need. More forks. And so she bought them. Actually, not she did. You did. Viewers did. It's my fucking credit card. I let her buy whatever she wanted. Made her happy. I remember the first time my mom was watching a video of me and Austin and Zack driving to Jack in the Box, and she was watching it, and she says, I think you're going bald. And I was like, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? What do you mean? And so I never thought about it, but I thought about it every day. And so, you know, so it's like my mom, we were actually going to renovate the kitchen before COVID happened. I was going to renovate the whole kitchen for her. And then COVID happened, and obviously, you know, like her health was, I mean, obviously compromised. So I didn't do it. But I told her, I was like, listen, like, I'll buy you whatever kitchen you want. I'll do whatever renovation you want. If it's $20,000, $30,000, I'll pay it. Don't worry about it. Get whatever you're going to like. Get whatever's going to make you happy. And COVID happened, and it ended up... I beat Ocarina of Time. I remember my mom and I stayed up really late. I was in, like, 4th or 5th grade, and we stayed up really late, and we beat Ocarina of Time. And Majora's Mask, I didn't like the time mechanics, but... I would play that just to play. Like, I lost my mom last year. I was so happy to be able to go live and just not think about that shit and play WoW and hang out with you guys. And I didn't want to talk about it all the time because I was doing this to fucking forget about it, you know? And it helped a lot. I played Gauntlet. That was my first ever arcade game that I played. I played it at Chuck E. Cheese, and I was so young that I would shoot the food with other people that would play with my mom and I. And I could use the excuse that I was so young that I didn't know what I was doing. But I did. Load. My mom would always say, like back in the 80s, whenever she'd try to buy a new game, it was like 50-50. If you buy the new software, if it works or not, then you have to call IBM and figure out what's going on, and then it doesn't work, and then it's like, well, you know, it is
and just different things.
It's like that's why, like, for example, like, I love little birdies. I think little birdies are the cutest, most adorable things ever. You see me buy any birds? Nope. Because I know what that bird is going to do. My dad made this mistake. My dad was trying to be romantic, and he bought my mom a lovebird. That bitch never shut up. Like, it ruined their life for, like, multiple years. And, like, they had to put a thing over it. They had, like, a squirt bottle. They would try to squirt at it to shut it the fuck up. And it's like the more, like my dad said, the more that you would squirt it with a squirt bottle, the more noise it would make. And it's just like, my dad was like, bro, like, this is gonna be like some fucking, you know, because he's, like, very open-minded spiritually. So he's like, man, like, what if this Hindu shit is real? And I die and I go and there's, like, a big bird god. And he's like, hey, yo, like, what did you do to my boy? And so he's like, this is some bad karma. And they got rid of the bird. And so I know that the bird can be fucking annoying. So how do I deal with this? I just look at them on Instagram and I don't buy a motherfucking bird. I don't. Like, I'm not going to buy a fucking bird because I can't take care of a bird. It's not that I can't. It's that I will not do that animal service by I would play this game with my mom back in the day. It took me like 4 years to beat this game. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I was so fucking into it. And yeah, I would play that shit all the time. I remember the game would reset and I learned how to speedrun this game in like 1996 because I could go through the first 3 temples in like an hour and just get back to the fucking dark world. Man, I would give anything to go back to this era. I would give anything to go back to like 1997. Like, I remember I talked to my mom about this game at church. Straight up. Be like, yo, we gonna play some Zelda after this shit? You gotta take me to Burger King. 2011, whenever I had a job at the IRS, I took my first fucking paycheck. I bought that TV. People always ask me why you don't have a new TV. I said, bitch, this is my TV. I bought it. I remember the day I got it. I bought it at Sam's Club with my friend Austin. And I remember I had my mom come up and we watched 300. It was the first movie I watched on that. I ain't replacing that TV until... My mom took me to see one movie my whole life that I can really remember. Maybe 2, I can't remember the other ones. But one movie. And that was The Passion of the Christ, directed by Mel Gibson. And I watched that in movie theaters with my mother. Is that I get them... One time I made a pizza, or no, I made a cake, and I didn't know how to read fractions. So I thought that I was supposed to put a cup of vegetable oil in the cake or something like that. I forgot even what it was. And I actually was only supposed to put like a quarter of it in there. And I made a vegetable oil cake, and like you would touch it and it would just like get your hand dirty. And my mom, like, because I asked her, like, can you help me? And she's like, no, I'm not going to help you. Figure it out yourself. You're going to see what happens. Go ahead. I'm on the internet right now. Leave me the fuck alone. Well, she didn't say that last part, but she was like playing WoW or something. No, I was younger than that. So like she's probably just doing some other shit. She's like, I'm not going to help you. Figure it out. Like, just do it. See what happens. And I did. And like, to be honest, like, using like 1 or 2 cups of vegetable oil in like a little cake like that, it was
it tasted different.
What's so horrible about it is like this is the same thing. Like, I mean, it sucks because like I hear this and it reminds me a lot of like the situation that happened with my mom, and it's like just growing up and like watching that happen was just like so fucking like soul destroying. And it's like if she was like a healthy weight, there is a very high chance that she'd still be around. Like I would. A lot of times my happiness ends whenever other people begin. And it sucks because like I used to have my mom that I could talk to about this, but I can't do that anymore. So it's like I just have to deal with it. And it is what it is. And it's like I did the same thing with my mom too. It's like she would play on my account and then I was like, I ain't playing on my fucking account. I gotta do something important, okay? I gotta run Scarlet Monastery. She said, fuck that. I'm buying my own. This is actually the second struggle oven. We had the first struggle oven, and it was from like, my mom had it from the 70s, but then it stopped working for some reason. And so we had to buy this one at the grocery store for like...
I remember the moment I became sentient. I was in my crib, and my mom was juggling balls.
For example, whenever I was a kid, bro, like my mom taught me how to fucking read. You know how she taught me to read? She said, I'm going to get you a complicated video game. I'm going to buy you Secret of Mana. I'm going to buy you King's Quest. I'm going to buy you Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. You're 7 years old. You can't figure this fucking game out. And I'm going to buy you a strategy guide. And if you can't read it, I guess that's too fucking bad, huh? And so I learned how to read. You know, when I was a kid, I had like my mom and my dad cared about me. I was surrounded by my friends. I was able to do what I wanted. You know, things weren't we weren't super rich in terms of money, but I was so happy. And the world was so good. So I tell you, like back in the day, my mom and I used to get Cokes at McDonald's every fucking night, basically, right? Because the drinks were $1. And so we would be there sometimes. I'm not even kidding you. Like my car, this is how often we would go there. My first car died in a McDonald's drive-thru. That's right. At 2 in the morning. It died. I spent so much time. To be fair, I have to say that this mainly, my mom cooked me these steaks. Okay, so I can't take full credit for this. She used to cook them for me, and then I cooked them after she passed away. And so now I'm cooking the steaks, and I've changed a couple of things. I have. But for the most part, I remember my mom was playing the game in like vanilla WoW, and she made a hunter, maybe it was like TBC, and like the pet stopped liking her, and it started attacking her. And I remember she felt like legitimately fucking betrayed. Like, how could he possibly fucking do this to me? Like, this game, like, this should never have happened to me. She was actually mad. Too. And, like my mom, I really wish that she spent more time, like taking care of her health. I would beg her about, please stop fucking smoking. Like, please exercise. Please do something. You're hurting yourself. She never would do it. And what I knew would happen when I was 8 years old fucking happened. So, you know, it's like a fucking like, fuck you, mom. I'm not going to go to church. I'm not going to mass. No, I'm not. I want to go to mass, but I want to wear the shirt that said, Raptor Jesus died for your sins. You know, or some kind of shit like that, right? And so whenever somebody does that to other 14-year-olds, they're like, yeah, bro, tell that bitch, yeah. But like, you know, if fucking 40-year-old dude is like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, you know, and they're thinking, man, I wish I could go to mass with my mom again, maybe because their mom's passed away. They're not able to spend time with their mom the same as they used to, right? So it's like just a complete... I used to tell my mom this because like she would also take like a bunch of medication and shit. And like she would never exercise or do anything to like actually improve her health. She would just take a lot of medicine to hopefully solve the problem. But she never realized that she was always just solving symptoms and not the disease. And it was really sad to see that happen to her, man. Like, I'll never forget that. It was fucking awful. And so, like, I see somebody like Boogie, he's doing the exact same thing. He's doing the exact same fucking thing. Like, I tried to get her to exercise. I tried to get her to stop smoking. I tried to get her to do all this stuff. She didn't do it. She's like, I can't do it. I'm going to feel sorry for myself. She fucking died. That's what happens. That's the way every one of these stories ends. I saw it happen. It's sad. Year after year. Problem, right? And like this was like, so my mom was really into art. She was really, really into art. She like, and bro, like she was so into it. She would not just teach me. She would be teaching like Cody and Jeff, like other little Cody, like Mick Reevy, Zack. She'd be trying to teach us art. And I remember, bro, like we were in our 20s by the time that like she finally got through to us about Jackson Pollock, for example, right? Because like the first time I saw a picture of Jackson Pollock, right? Let me just real quick. I said, bro, like, you telling me some fucking dumbass actually paid money for this shit? Is you telling me some fucking dipshit got hoodwinked out of $1,000 for this piece of fucking garbage? You telling me that I'm not in third grade is worth $1 million? And I never understood it until I got a lot older. I never did. He's drunk whenever he painted those. He was. But what I've learned is that at the end of the day, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if people perceive value, then it exists. And it's not up to me, and it's not up to you to decide what somebody else sees value in. I mean, fuck, NFTs make more sense than this shit. Why do you buy this? But there it is. And so anyway, my mom would teach us about this whenever we were young and whenever we were older too. And I think this is the first time I really kind of, came to grasp the concept of subjective. Never forget the day that I am driving to Long John Silver's and it was Lent, right? And so like that's whenever Catholics don't eat meat on Fridays. And so my mom and I would go to Long John Silver's and get fish that day. And my mom fucking hears Gold Digger come on the fucking radio and she's like slapping her leg. She's like, it's so good. I love this song out of fucking nowhere. And it was like a throwback play. Like this was like in 2016 or something. And I was like, wait, what? She says, yeah, turn this shit up. I turn it up. And she's like, man, this is insane. And she goes, who does this? I said, Kanye West. She goes, no wonder Kim Kardashian fell in love with him. Like, I mean, my parents were divorced. I was pretty lucky that, like, my parents had a pretty good relationship. I mean, overall, right? I mean, there would be arguments and, my mom would be like, oh, well, your dad. And my dad would be like, oh, well, your mom. Of course, right? But they really did try to put in 100% to make sure that, like, I had as much of a normal life as possible outside of them being divorced, right? And so I saw both of them pretty regularly. Also, like, and this is another, like, component to it that I talked about a little bit before, and it's kind of like a heavy topic, but like so much of my growing up, like I grew up with my mom, like she, like my dad also raised me, but I lived with my mom, so I spent a lot more time with my mom, and she and I played WoW together, and whenever I would play WoW, like I would always think about the times that we would play together. Whenever she passed away, it kind of like changed the way that I felt about the game in a way. It really kind of did, and I don't know, right? It's hard for me to say exactly. I can't even really verbalize how it made me feel. So I'd have to think about how to express that. But it was definitely like one of those things where it's like, like on Friday night, like my mom and I would be playing WoW, and then Cody and Jeff would bring their computer over, and then they would play WoW, and then Zack would probably come over, bring his computer over, or Eric would come over,
or, you know, Austin would come over or Dylan would come over, and like we'd all be playing and talking about the game. Like it was like me, my mom, Cody, and Jeff in the car, like waiting for like Wrath of the Lich King, you know, like the release. It might have been Cataclysm. I don't remember which one exactly. I think it was actually Wrath. And, you know, all of these things, right? It was so fucking good. And so like playing WoW would remind me about all of those old times, right? And it was like it was kind of like still there whenever she was around, right? Because it was, you know, like if Cody and Jeff ever came over, even like fucking like years later, you know, we would all still be talking about WoW and like, you know, doing Karazhan, and like it was such a dude, I was so lucky. It was so fucking good. I would do anything to have it back. I've give up everything that I have now to go back there. I really would, in a second. You can't, but fuck. And so whenever, you know, whenever she passed away, it definitely changed the way that I saw the game, and like that emotional connection was kind of like a little bit different, I guess you could say. Yeah, and so I think that's another component to the game too. It's what I'm saying is it's not just Mythic Plus, right? It's not just you, it's also a little bit of me. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I don't play it as much anymore. And yeah, fuck. Because it's just a game, right? No, I mean, that's the thing, right? That's why I said I'd never trade the time away. That's exactly what I'm saying. You know, like, Durant's absolutely sad. It is sad. It is sad in a way, but, like, I try not to think about how sad I am about it. Because, like, I was just so lucky. Like, it's crazy to think that, like, how long it was good. It was good for so long. I was so fucking lucky, it was crazy. It was awesome. I align with the direction of the game was going. Yeah, it's just obviously just still a lot of different things. Some of your best memories of playing then? Yeah. Don't be sad it's gone, be happy it happened. Oh, I try, man, but it's hard. It is. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons good, and like basically having people like me, right? Like wearing name brand clothes and like caring about this stuff a lot. I'm talking about like how old was I? I'm talking about like middle school and elementary school primarily, right? And so I really, really cared about that, and I had like I was very insecure about it. Like I would even be insecure about like, you know, my mom had like a really shitty car. It was actually a truck, and like people would like comment like, oh, when's your mom gonna get a new car? And like, you know, she would never get a new car, right? Next car she got was the one that was my car that would drive her around it. And so I felt very bad. Like I just left it in my room, and I bought it during school, and then like during summer vacation, like Zack came down because he would like visit his dad in summer vacations. And so whenever he came down, guess what? You know, he comes over, he says, why the fuck are we playing Halo whenever we could be playing WoW? And I said, what's WoW? He says, because he told me, he was like, it's like that mission in Warcraft 3 where you play as Rexar, but like that's the whole game. And I said, what the fuck? He said, yeah. And so then we figured out a way to get like, you know, like money from like his grandma and like my mom. And then we started playing WoW like that day. It was Tuesday. So I would drive up there, I would get myself a fucking pizza, and then I would get a drink at McDonald's for $1, and then I would have a full fucking meal for $6 for me and my mom. And then I would go up, I would eat the pizza, and I would raid. I did that shit for like 5 years. Like my mom said back in the day, she used to with her friends, like this is like back in like I guess the 60s or some shit. They would get together and they would pool together like $1 and they would go to Taco Bell or some shit. Maybe it was the 70s. Well, yeah, I remember my mom said that like whenever she was going to classes, it was like less than $100 to go to a class. And this was like probably in like the 60s and like early 70s, I guess, because she was born in 50. So yeah.
Yeah, his mom and I went to buy our first house. Inflation was fucking 18-20%.
What year was that?
and 77, 78, 79, and the OPEC oil crisis, after the auto workers screwed themselves out of a job by leaving screwdrivers in the doors and stuff like that, so they rattle around. And this was in the late 70s. And it was the black tag migration to Texas, because at that time Michigan had black license plates, and it's called black tag.
And so everybody moved down here because the inflation was so. Growing up, like I had to help my mom. Like I had to take a lot of like my student loan money and like any money that I made and like give all that money to her, because like she wasn't getting a job. And like, if I didn't do that, then she'd be homeless. And I like, I mean, how could I take care of her? Right. And so I had to do that. And so I couldn't really go out and live a life the way that, you know, I think a lot of other people like would naturally want to. Right. I couldn't go out and do, you know, live in an apartment with like other friends of mine. I couldn't go and, you know, have different types of experiences that, you know, people had growing up. And, you know, then my teeth started falling out and it's like everything in my life was awful. Right. Is he making this up? No, I mean, I wish. I mean, you can go back and look at the videos yourself, right? I mean, like, I've recorded everything in my life, right? It's not like it's a big secret. Effective relationships as well. Yeah, exactly. Like, I couldn't really have a girlfriend because, like, I was dealing with this.
RV is hell for children.
Yeah.
I've been living in a camper with
my mom was in an RV. They lived in an RV whenever, like they were, like, real young. And, like, so just a bit of lore, like my grandfather was a cartographer because he was like a pilot. And so they would fly around and do cartography, right? And so, and also like his mom, you know, or like, not his mom, sorry, like her mom, like my grandma helped him do it. And so they would drive around in an RV and my mom fucking hated it too. Yeah, and that's even like in the 1950s.
So I'd go like grocery shopping with my mom. Was going to the magazine racks
the way
and seeing
it is.
if there was a new issue
Yeah.
of Game Informer. And every time there was, I'd pick one of those up and, you know, beg my mom to buy me the thing.
Yeah.
And I'd just like read it from page to page, and especially those cover stories that provided like just unprecedented insight into the games that they were covering, especially at that time.
Was the
I
place.
remember buying quite a few issues, and every one of them being just like a momentous occasion, like I
had a Game Informer subscription
to look forward to
back in the day.
And so I really do have fond memories of Game Informer and buying those magazines.
I remember we would go to Albertsons, and this was a grocery store. It's not even around anymore. Maybe it is in some places in the country, but like we used to have an Albertsons kind of. You know, like we would drive over there, and then we would get food at Albertsons, and then there was a Burger King, and we would go there all the time. It is, yeah, I'm not really sure, but I remember you would walk in, and the magazines would be like right there on the, I guess that's on the right, and I would sit there in front of the magazines, and I would read all of them whenever my mom would shop or like she'd be in line, and like I would have her buy those for me too. And then they even had like, remember those things where they had the little, you would get like it's like the red thing on like the corner of the aisle, and you could like take it at the what was it called? The coupon from it. Remember that? Yeah, the coupon dispenser. Yeah, this was like the year 2000, right? The year 1999. It was a real long time ago.
They're good.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of a story a friend told me of hiring.
Yeah, my mom growing up, she was a freelance writer, and it was always like, and she was not, my mom was not a money saver. She was I got a new job, it's time to get a new computer. I got a new job, it's time to order pizza. I got this is what it was, right? And so it would be feast and famine, right? There would be sometimes that she would just have all this fucking, yeah, you want an Xbox? Oh, okay, yeah, sure, why not, right? It's not a big deal. And then the other times it's like, no, we can't afford to get a Coke at McDonald's. No, that's $1. We need that $1. You know, obviously, you know, like I'll miss my mom whenever. You know, it's like, oh, I miss whenever we used to, you know, eat dinner together and watch movies. But I really wish I could watch her watch this video. I really, really wish I could watch, like, that would be fucking crazy. Actually was. Like, my mom has photos of me as a little fucking kid, as like a baby, basically, sitting there playing Atari. I used to have my mom read me all of the different like sins in the Bible and everything, because I understood, even as a little kid, I'm like, there's something wrong with you. Like you better learn this so that way there aren't any problems in the future. And so I would have her read all of these to me. That way I would understand how to behave. It's always very scary for me to know that, like, my mom would die one day, right? This was extremely scary. This was like the one thing that I didn't want to have happen. And in 2021, it did happen. And so leading up to that was incredibly stressful. She pretty much did everything that she possibly could. I love her, but she did every fucking thing that she could to make things as absolutely unpleasant as possible. Oh my God. And so, yes. It was very frustrating to deal with somebody like that. But, she was 70 at the time. And so it really, really, really hurt. And it's... like, she was the main person in my life that I was, like, most connected to. And, like, this is the person that I had, like, the deepest emotional connection with. And to just lose them. And it was kind of random, by the way. Like, things got worse over time, but it was nothing like at the very end there. It just kind of went off a fucking cliff. I've heard jokes like that. My mom... Jesus, this is so bad. My mom, she wanted to get taken home from the hospital. And... they wouldn't do it. So she said, thank God that I didn't have to get a ride home from some random guy, but I guess it wouldn't be that bad because I don't have any teeth. And I was like driving her home from the hospital. I was like, what the fuck? Yes, I swear to God. I was just like, yeah, she was hilarious.
But that was a great job, and everybody was kind of expecting. My professors, I was, your mom and I both aced all our classes, and so they were expecting us to go into to academia. But the attitude was just. I had to take my mom to the emergency room probably 10 times. Every single time we'd get a bill, you know what we do with the bill? We'd throw it away, and then we go to the emergency room again, and we get another bill. That's it, and it would just keep happening. And so it's not a big deal. And also, we had something called the MAP program. That's what it is here in Texas. And if you make under a certain amount of money, you then have your health care paid for. My mom was really, really, really into conspiracies. Like, if you think that I know a lot of weird shit, I swear to God, I don't even know 10% of what she knew. Like, she would have like booklets and information and like, it was fucking insane. And so anyway, all the drones, yes. And anyway, and you're indulging one. You think I'm indulging a conspiracy theory? I don't know. But one thing that I do remember is that she would always try to convince me of stuff, right? And so almost any conspiracy theory, that's how I know about all of them. It's because she would tell me about all of these. And that was her thing. That was like her job, man. Like, she would spend time doing this. And anyway, staircase into hell. And I think the first ones was like when like my mom stopped being able to get jobs. And I was like 15 or so, and she stopped being able to like support herself. And it was like really bad. And like, obviously she could rely on child support, etc. But like, then I was 18, and so that wasn't a thing. And then my dad would still help her out, but like, it was just really, really bad. She wasn't getting jobs, wasn't doing anything. And then on top of that, fuck, like, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. That's when my teeth started falling out too, right? And so like, I got into the position, like I had the feeling, I was like, okay, well, like all my friends are like getting jobs and like, they're moving on with their life. Like, I still have to live with my mom and my teeth are falling out. Like, I really need to like, like things are never going to get better. Like my life sucks. And so like, I'm just going to totally stop thinking about like the way that people see me or like anything, because like, it's just going to get worse. Right. That's it. And so that's the reason why I stopped giving a fuck. It was actually, I was like maybe 20 or 21. It was like $1.30 or $1.70.
I remember this because I asked my mom for one. She said, no, I'll only get you an ice cream cone because McFlurries are overpriced. And I cried at the McDonald's lobby. I remember this. I was like 5 years old or 4 years old or something. And this is right whenever they add McFlurries. And I was sitting there crying. It was one of the worst things that ever happened to me. Started like doing chores for like his grandma and like, you know, doing things out in the garden and like doing things for my mom. And then she gave us enough money for he could get his own account. And then we would be both playing oh my God, man. Oh, it was so good. Oh, fuck. It was good until your parents yelled at you. You know, the only time my mom would yell at me is she'd be yelling at me if I'd invite her to a group because she was playing too. She was playing WoW also. And so like she would like, then Zack would bring his computer over and then like there'd be like 4 of us in a room. Like we'd be blowing out the fucking power circuits. Like the thing is, like I showed you guys this, right? Let me see. My mom hit 60. This is here we go. So this was one of those nights, man. That's Cody in the background. Because we were all in my room with my computer. She was in the living room with her computer. Everybody was gaming. Everybody was playing. Yeah, dude, like we went so fucking hard on this. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Oh my fucking God. Asked my mom whenever she was still around. And I was like, where the fuck did you put my sword? Because I swear to God, I found a legitimate fucking katana in like the woods. Straight up. And it was an amazing weapon. I had this for pretty much like my entire time growing up. I would take this katana with me everywhere, including school, which was a problem. And so anyway, I was like, oh, this is like a fucking Joan of Arc of something, right? Or something. You're a chosen one, exactly. And so my mom hid it because we kept cutting things up with a katana, right? Obviously the sword. I don't even think it was a katana particularly. And she hid it from me and she forgot where she fucking put it. And I've been looking every like 6 months. I will start trying to look for this sword. When I was a kid, like I was like, you guys might not know this, but like both of my parents, like my dad's written multiple novels as well. He worked in publishing. He was a publishing executive. My mom was also a writer as well. And so like I grew up doing this a lot. And so that's the way I look at it is I pray for my mom all the time, and I'm not religious, but I say, hey bro, if there's a 1% chance, I've got how many 1% mounts? So yeah, no, I do the same thing. I mean, you gotta do something. My mom's dad, man, that's my grandpa right there. It's my dad, obviously, on the other side. You recognize him.
That's real.
And my mom would do this too, but the difference is that she just didn't give a fuck. Like, she would have $20 in a purse. And I say, Mom, can we go to Taco Bell? She's like, yeah, I got $20. When are we going to get another $20? Potentially never. But we've got $20 right now, and we're going to spend it. Do you think that was a good or a bad thing for real? She did what she wanted to do. And it is a good thing because she did and lived the way that she wanted to live. And if a person cannot exist in a way that they choose that makes them happy, then they're living in opposition to their purpose and their existence. The reason why this is problematic is because primarily it is indulgent and it negatively affects other people, which my mom did also do, which was not good. But at the same time, at the end, she just didn't give a fuck, period. That's the difference. What about when people have been misguided? She was not misguided. She had 2 college degrees. She wrote books. She knew more about conspiracies than Alex Jones. She was not misguided. She just did not give a fuck. Check for me. It was. And I feel bad for these people in a way, but the issue that I have is that they're looking for something and they're never going to find it because it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. Everything about it is gone. And you keep trying to hold on to this world, and you keep trying to, like, you know, it's like you're holding it so hard, and it's just, yeah, time has passed. And it was a very weird thing for me because I used to be such a sentimental and nostalgic person, and I still am in a lot of ways. But a big part of me changed after that happened, and a couple of other, you know, like big personal events happened in my life. And I stopped constantly reminiscing on being 17 years old, because for a long time I was like, okay, and I still believe this. I believe I was born rich. You know, I had two parents that loved me. I lived in a nice house, and, you know, I was surrounded by my friends. We didn't have millions of dollars, but, you know, I'd trade millions of dollars to have what I had then again. But I can't do. I mean, like, and this is something I really didn't kind of talk about a lot in my video, is that ever since I was like, you know, I would say like 23, but really 15, like in 2005, somewhere around there, my family, like me and my mom and my dad, got in a really bad accident, and my mom like broke her wrist, and I think they said that she had like a heart attack while they were doing an operation on her or something like that, and she was like never the same after this operation. And so ever since then, I had been having to like kind of take care of her and help her, etc. Then as I got into my early 20s, like, you know, 21, 22, 23, especially 23, you know, things just kind of deteriorated and they got worse. And so at that point, like, I couldn't really move out. I couldn't, you know, go and, you know, pursue anything that I wanted to do because my mom didn't have anybody else. You know, she was here in Austin, Texas. All her family's in Florida. And so, like, I mean, and at that point, I didn't really have like funds to help her any other way. And so I had to take care of her. And so I had put off a lot of, you know, things that I think that you would do. Like I did a lot. Like, I don't want anybody to get an idea that, like, you know, growing up, like, things were bad. I mean, like, things were actually very good in a lot of cases, but there's always negative aspects to it, right? And one of them was that, you know, like, for me, I ended up having to take care of her from about, you know, I would say, like, on a soft level from 15, but like really seriously from like 23 to like 31. Whenever she passed away, I was 31. People do before they go to sleep. My mom used to do that. Like, even inside of the Christian logic, this doesn't even make sense. I remember we had got that bag of rice. My mom and I bought it from Sam's Club in like 2014 or something like that. And like, I was just like, I mean, it was a 50-pound bag. I'm like, I don't want to carry this into the fucking house. Who cares? And so I just left it out in the car. And so it was out in the fucking driveway. And there was like basically a greenhouse inside of my car. And it was like just basically, what was it? Rice growing out of this bag.
I thought that it needed like water to grow in, but it just fucking went for it.
Yeah,
it was a real,
like, telling people, it's like, you know, you miss your parents, right? Where it's like, oh, it's Christmas, I miss my mom. Oh, it's Thanksgiving, I miss my mom. I wish she was here. Yeah, sometimes I feel that way. But like, you know when I really missed her? Whenever I found out that all of her conspiracy theories were true. I was like, man, if only she was here to see this. And then I talked to my aunt about it, and she was like, no, Shelly would be just yelling at you saying, I told you, see, you should have listened to me. You should have listened, see? You thought you were smart. You're not smart. You don't know what I know.
She loved that shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, that's the thing, is I would have been...
I remember watching that movie. I watched that movie with mom. You know what? It's actually like, damn. I haven't thought about this for a long time. The last movie that I remember my mom watching was Apocalyptico. Like, back before she went to the hospital. Like, it was because I remember I went in there and we were watching the first half of it. I remember, like, my parents obviously grew up in Florida, right? And so, I remember my mom, she was like, well, what are they getting down on Cubans for? Cubans love America. I used to have a Cuban boyfriend. I was like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, it was great. It was fine. Yeah, Cubans are amazing. I love it. Yeah, we were in Florida. We knew tons of Cubans. Everything was okay. Yeah. I will never forget. My mom and I would watch Lord of the Rings together. My mom and I watched Lord of the Rings together. I'm not even kidding you guys. Probably 300 times. Like, one of the movies. Most of the time, the first one. And I remember her at the movie theater for The Hobbit. She was like this. And it was like during like the barrel scene, and she's like this. Just crashed out. So, what would your mom say about this revelation? What would my mom say? See, I told you. See, you should have. Why don't you just listen? Why? Yeah, I told you. I've been trying to tell you for what? Jeez. See, look now. Now you're gonna watch this video with me. What's it about? It's about giants that lived in Arizona, and there's an Indian tribesman who's talking about the, oral tale of the giants and the Nephilim, and it's okay, right. Here is whenever my parents had me, they were 39 and 43. It's whatever. So this is what I said. When I was a kid, our lights would turn off, and we would never. Okay, so this is inaccurate. We never had our electricity turned off. But we had our heating turn off. We had our heating turn off and our internet turn off. We always had electricity. So like we would go from, basically being able to like be normal, and then we would be reduced down to, my mom and I would be reduced down to playing Age of Empires 2 and using the Super Nintendo. And the year is 2012. Okay, so no, it's not entirely accurate. Okay, we had electricity. It's just that that was about it. Reduced. Yes, that's really all it was. And so anyway, do you have electric heaters? We had one. We had one electric heater that we got at Walmart or something like that. So yeah, typical third world or debuff. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like if I think back on those times. Like, this is what it says, man, I wish I could go back. Yeah, if I could snap my fingers and go back to the times where it was just me and my mom, and we would have enough stuff to, like, maybe bake one cake in our, like we had a separate, like, so basically this, and there's even more lore, there's lore compounded on this, okay? So basically... So this is, I bought my mom this nice, beautiful, brand new oven, and I had it installed and everything. And so anyway, this is what happened, right? And I don't even really know how to use this oven. And the reason why is because growing up, we always had one of these ovens. And so this is the oven that I was so used to using. And so this is the one we would put cakes in there, and we would cook a cake. Like I remember my mom and I, we would, we'd have enough money to like get together money to get a cake mix. And then we'd bake a cake, and then we would play Age of Empires and like Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. Like in, again, the year 2012, because the internet got turned off and the heating got turned off, and there's like one space heater, so we're sitting in the same room. So like this, and we had to use this because at the time, this is a gas oven. And so obviously you can't use it whenever there's no gas. And so that was it. Some more childhood. Yeah. My dad told me my mom used to have one of those cars.
What is this?
She used to literally be a hippie that would smoke weed and ride around with in a VW. She grew up like, it's like my mom, right? 70, 60-year-old women that like grew up playing video games and never you talk about what is this Taco Bell? Honestly, I haven't been to Taco Bell. I used to go to Taco Bell all the time with my mom, and then I guess I just kind of stopped. Really, I guess it was like a ritual where we would do that. And so when I stopped going to Taco, whenever she passed away, like I just kind of stopped going to Taco Bell as much. I probably should go